So I just finished up a video on how I attach a hang-on stand to a tree. And before we get into that, I just wanted to bring up a couple of things. First, whenever you're climbing and setting up your stand, make sure that you wear a safety harness there. We don't want anybody getting hurt. Also, when you're climbing a tree, make sure that you put your bow off to the side of where you're going to hang your stand. If by some chance you make a mistake, you don't want that stand falling on your bow. Also, if you're new to hunting with a hang-on stand there, take some time in the backyard or in the woods close by there and just practice a little bit before you take it out and actually use it and get familiar with it, so you will know what you're doing when the time comes to set it up in the woods. One more quick thing. If you're thinking about buying an XOP hang-on stand there, I'll leave a link in the description down below there. I do receive a small commission for it, which helps us keep the channel going, so if you use the link, we greatly appreciate it. So with that, let's get right to it. So Eric, my son, asked me to do a quick video on how to attach a hang-on stand to the tree and then lock it into place. So I thought I'd take a few minutes and show you how I do it, and show you some of the things that I've done to make it a little bit easier, and maybe give you a few safety tips to make life a little bit easier. First, you're going to need a couple of things. Some paracord and some sort of an S-hook to put on one of the pieces of paracord. One of the pieces you want big enough, about the same size as your straps that you use to attach your hang-on stand. And then you want another piece of paracord that you attach to the stand itself. And I'll show you why you need that in just a minute, or why it's a little bit easier. As far as the straps themselves for the stand, I usually roll them up like this and then just put one in each pocket, so when I get up in the top of the tree, I've got them right handy, so I don't have to scrounge around for them. So anyway, to start with, if you have this on the tree, it makes life a whole lot easier. You can use both of your hands to put the straps on the stand. So I just put this around the tree like this, and if you watch close, when I make my second loop, I fold it over, and you want your string to be on the front side when you make that loop. And then you just pull it through and cinch her up, and then put another half hitch in it to hold it in place. And it doesn't have to be tight. Matter of fact, you probably don't want it right tight, so you can move it around just a little bit. The weight of the stand will hold that from sliding down the tree, because you've got it, you know, hanging on one edge. And then I look for that S-hook and bring it around to the side of the tree that I'm going to hang my stand on. The stand I always have on my back when I'm in there. Now, here's one safety tip. When you put your steps on the tree, your top step wants to be even or slightly above where your stand is going to rest. Safety issues there, climbing onto the sticks, it's a lot safer if the stick is even with the stand or slightly above it than what it is if it's below it. It's less likely to fall out of the tree that way. So anyway, this is how I do it. I'm left-handed, so if I can, I want my stand on the left side of me because it's just more comfortable doing it that way. What I do is I take my right strap and just slide that out, and my stand slides down. I reach down and I grab this other paracord which is attached to the thing, and I grab it and I just reach up and just slide it on that S-hook. Then I just easily slide this down, and then I turn it hands free. Now it's resting there, so I've got both of my hands to work with my straps. Okay? One thing I want to mention, all right, before you even get started, picking the right tree makes all the difference. You want one that's straight. You know how it is, you can't ever find one that's straight. But as straight as you can get it and not leaning. See how this one's leaned way over? You try to climb this tree with your sticks on this side of it, you're going to be pretty uncomfortable climbing that tree. So if you can get one straight, perfect. But anyway, I'm going to use this one because there's something else I want to show you here in a minute. So the way I do it is when you're at the bottom of the stand, it's a lot easier to get your length of your straps right, but I always forget to do that. But anyway, so I come around the tree and hook on the first one, and then I'll attach my second one, and then I'll cinch this up tight. And you want to try to keep your strap straight if you can. You put the first one on, and that'll hold it in place so you don't have to worry about it falling anywhere, all right? Then I'll take my second one, and I like to put the back side on first just because it's easier for me that way, especially at the end of the night. I always know that the front side comes off first. Slide that one on and put it on. Now, here's the thing you need to keep in mind. When you're looking at your stand, you want these straps to be horizontal. If the straps are at an angle at all, when you go to lock this in, you're not getting the effect that you want. Where if it's straight, this has room to slide down when you lock it into place. All right? So make sure that these straps are horizontal. If they're tipped down or tipped down this way, when you go to slide it, this isn't going to go anywhere because you've already got that angle on it. All right? The next thing you want to do is to straighten out your platform. See how that's not level? All right. This right here is how you adjust that. And you have to loosen this up and then lift up a little bit, and that loosens that up. And then slide it down. All right, so now that looks pretty good. And myself, I would rather have it tipped up a little bit than tipped down. If it's tipped down, you're going to be uncomfortable all night. But anyway, make sure that that's level. And then the next thing, if you're dealing with a crooked tree, you want to make sure that it's level right to left. All right? That's kind of tipped off to the right a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to straighten it out. Now if you can see, that isn't touching real good. Now, the manufacturer might not agree with me, but I've done this several times and I've never had a problem with it. If you're not comfortable with it, then pick a straight tree. But if you've got a crooked one, that's what you have to do. And I've never had a problem with it slipping. It'll hold. So let me cinch these up and then we'll lock her into place. Once you get it level, you want to make sure you tighten this back up. If you don't, when you go to lock it into place, these are stiff. So when you lift this up, it's going to push this up and out of this groove. And when you go to lock it down in, your whole platform is going to drop and you won't like it one bit. So make sure you tighten this back up if you've got to adjust it. Yeah. So now we're all set. The next thing I do is I take the front of the platform before I even get on it, and I'll lift it up and pull this tight as I'm doing it. And I don't go all the way up so that this part of the brace is right up against the tree. I just go up about, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches and snug it up, and then make sure the top one's snug. Now let it drop back down. Okay, so now I step onto the stand and I'll take my front foot and just stick it underneath the edge of the platform, and I'll kind of hang onto the tree and I'll lift up a little bit, and that drops down. Boom. Now she's rock solid. I mean, that ain't going anywhere. As you can see, I'm wiggling that pretty hard and that isn't going anywhere. That isn't moving at all, and one side of the teeth aren't even attached to the tree. So if it's not level this way, all you need to do is just slide that over and you'll be a lot more comfortable standing on it. I've noticed a couple of times that I cinch this down kind of tight and my strap slipped a little bit. So what I like to do is take your strap, hold it in one hand, bring it up underneath, bring it back down through. You're making a half hitch, just like that. And then if something does happen and this slips, it's only going just a little ways. It's not going to come right off. And I'll do the same thing with the upper one here. Just go up underneath it, down through, and pull it tight. And at the end of the night, all you got to do is go like that and you're done. And then you can just pull it right off. Now I'm going to readjust this up higher so that I can show you how I take the stand down at the end of the set. At the end of the set, this is how I do it. I take my bottom strap, loosen it up, and slide it off, and then I'll take the front one off, all right? And I'll put that in one of my pockets. Stand still isn't going anywhere. Then I'll take my top strap and I'll loosen it up easy and just let that fall forward. You want to make sure that your line is still attached to your S-hook. You don't want it to fall off the tree. And then just loosen it up. Keep on loosening. Sometimes you have to balance it a little bit to get it to stay. But hands free, it's staying there. So then you take your top strap off. And then this is what I do. With one hand around the tree, I take my other hand and put it in the back strap, like this. Put it right over my shoulder, like so, and then I'll reach up, grab the strap, and drop it down. Get it up there, then I'll grab with the other hand, ta-da. And the one thing you don't want to do is forget to take your string at the end of the night. I always have an extra one of these in my backpack there, because sooner or later you're going to forget one and you won't realize it till you go to set up the next time. And I just keep this right in my pocket.